Welcome. The first thing is welcome, you guys. Thank you for sticking with me. We took a week off. We kind of rebooted, retooted, reinstituted. So to start off episode 12, I want to do something that kind of lightens everybody's day. I found this the other day on the interwebs, and it stood out to me. It's something that really, I started to cry a little bit when I heard it. I'm not going to lie. I cry, okay? So it's okay to cry. People cry all the time, all right? When I was a baby, I cried a lot. And I won't do it justice, but I want you guys to hear it from me first. And I hope this kind of gets us all started in the right way for episode 12 today. So here it goes. Every day when you're walking down the street, everybody that you meet has an original point of view. And I say, hey, what a wonderful time of day where we can learn to work and play, get along with each other. You got to listen to the heart. Listen to the beat. Listen to the rhythm of the street. Open up your eyes. Open up your ears. Get together and make things better by working together. It's a simple message, and it comes from the heart. Believe in yourself. Well, that's the place to start. And I say, hey, what a wonderful time of day where we can work and play and get along with each other. So that's something I just wanted you guys to hear. I'm surprised I made it through without crying. I say we get this started. Let's get episode 12 going. Let's ramp up the power. That's from nothing, by the way. Just came up with that. I'm going to hit this button. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's the intro. Welcome to Here's the Deal.
When you want something real but not too real, here's the deal. 'Cause it's time to go and start the show. He's an average Joe that you should know. Kevin Kelly by. He does what he feels, so grab a meal and get ready for Here's the Deal.
Yep, and I added the poop in just to let you know that that's how I'm feeling today. But we're here. We made it to the podcast. I crawled out of my bed. With my fingernails. Every inch, every mile. You gotta crawl with your fingernails. I believe, and if you guys want to put in the comments, I think that's from Any Given Sunday. One of the greatest speeches of all time given to football players. So my guest today, reigning 2-time champion of the world in wrestling, holds the belt for biggest belly flop that I know of. No, this guy's indestructible. What I'm saying, he doesn't wrestle, okay? Yeah, he doesn't have the belly flop champion belt, okay? But he has the coolest nickname I've ever known. We don't call him Frederick, okay? If your friend's Frederick, we don't call him that, okay? Like a normal name like Frederick or Craig or Bill or Billy, okay? We don't call him that. We call him by and so I'll tell you his real name. This is Anthony Farindelli. So he's a cool guy. We've gone through a lot together. Maybe too much. Okay? Do you get it? Maybe a little too much. I'm hoping he can, shed a little light on the situation. But his name can be spelt multiple ways, and it's a constant, debate with our other friends whether or not it's spelt right. I have my own way of spelling it. He has his way of spelling it. Hopefully it's the way he spells it. I don't know, but we're going to find out. We're going to bring him on. So please welcome to the show for the first time, and I'm calling him by his nickname, Anthony. That's not his nickname. Anthony Toezy Farindelli. He's here. Da-da-da-da.
Here's the deal.
Come on down. Let me give you some volume so you can actually.
Oh, that's perfect.
That sounds good.
Yeah, how's it going? I never realized Here's the Deal was shot in front of a live studio audience.
We always have an audience here, but I have to pay them to be here.
Oh,
no one really wants to see this live, but we have to.
How are you dealing with this with the whole social distancing thing? I mean,
they're
kind
these
of packed
people
in there.
Well, they don't leave. They don't leave, Toezy. So these people, they stay for a lifetime.
So they've been here.
They've been here for a while, and you can tell
Since
by.
March?
I mean, we don't feed them, so they don't move much. They're getting slower and slower every week.
You don't feed them anything?
Well, I think they get cockroaches. They get cockroaches that come around every once in a while.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't even kill them because they might want to start eating those things.
They're so skinny, it seems like they're easier to do social distancing, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I think before, that's what we got, big old Gordo people, to start with. And now that, their fat is just eating away. But it's creating more space, like you said.
No.
So it's okay.
I love that word, social distancing, though. It's like, now people just say that when you want to go hang out with somebody. You're like, hey, you want to go social distance?
Right. Well, now it's easier for me because, I never really wanted to see a lot of people to begin with. And that was just my life was social distancing. But now, now everybody, I'm very hipster about it. Like, now everybody's doing social distance. And it's become like a cool thing. It's a cool term.
You got to do it.
If you're not doing it, you're not cool kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like, I'm like, hey, you want to go social distance at this this park? And then we're like, yeah, let's go social distance over there.
Did you bring your 6-foot pole? Like, hell yeah, I got it in the truck.
But I hope that we still use that after quarantine ends.
When this is all over.
Yeah, it's like, what do we use now? It's like, before this happened, you say, like, let's go hang out. But it's like, what are we going hanging on monkey bars?
I don't say hang out anymore.
What do you say?
I really don't. I
chill?
Say, let's go space together.
Let's go space together.
That's probably that's more of the. I think that's what we're looking for. I want to space with you.
I want to space.
And it's also a sexual term, I've heard. Some people are coining it different ways.
Wait, spacing or social distancing?
Spacing, the word space. So, it's just like a new way to have sex. Because, if you're going into a new relationship, and you can speak to this, Toezy, I think I'm going to maybe defer this to you because I have a girlfriend, but you're the single man in my friend Familia, and you've been out there dating. So, how do you space with a girl? Or guy, I don't know what you're into.
You got to leave enough space for the Holy Spirit. That's rule one.
Oh, yeah. And so if a lot of people don't know, me and Anthony, or Toezy, by the way, we should go into that. We went to Holy Rosary together, Catholic school for almost 9. I did 9 years, you did a little shorter.
I ducked out a little bit early.
Yeah, the devil found you early.
Devil found me?
But that's okay.
It was a Tuesday.
They usually are. So his name is Anthony, and, got the Italian last name Farindelli, but then just Toezy comes out of nowhere, and everybody wants to know what's going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of mystery about it when I was growing up, and especially when I moved from Holy Rosary to public school, and nobody knew what it. They're just like, what the fuck is this weird name? And a lot of people started thinking that because I had an extra toe, that I had a 6th toe. So people always were trying to take off my shoe and find ways to get my shoes off to see that if I had a 6th toe.
That was the first thing I did. I tried to cut your shoe open when I saw you.
Yeah, you had the box cutter
when I was in kindergarten.
Shoe off. Yeah, I remember that. Day 1, kindergarten.
Let me see your toes.
Let me see it. We both have older brothers. That's another thing we have in common.
Yeah, a lot of things.
We've all gone through the terrors of having an older brother.
Seen a lot of things go down at your house.
Oh yeah, but when I was born, he's just a little kid, and you know how little kids are stupid. They can't even speak right.
Yeah.
And that's just how he was saying my name, Anthony. But that's that's how my name was. That's what my name was growing up.
Yeah.
That's all I knew.
Because they couldn't.
He couldn't pronounce it.
Your brother couldn't pronounce Anthony Foley, so he
he's just said Toezy.
Because it was, I guess maybe because the Tony part, and so he's like Toezy.
Yeah, something like that, and just.
We're not. I like to think we're not in the Matrix. It's all made up, but we could be.
Could be.
We could have took that. What is it? The red pill that takes you down the rabbit hole, or is it the blue pill? Can someone go watch the movie?
Blue pill is Excedrin PM.
Oh, so it was really just if you have a headache.
Yeah, I
take that.
I think red pill is just regular Tylenol.
Makes sense. Yeah.
I think he just had
so that's what
he just had a headache the whole time.
And the guy kept telling him, you need to stop doing heroin. He was trying to be like, here's some Excedrin. He's like, or you can keep taking heroin. Yeah. And he's like, well, fuck, I'm not going to stop now.
If you watch until the very end, when the credits all go by, it says, this was brought to you by Tylenol.
Tylenol.
And it was the whole thing was an ad for Tylenol.
Motherfuckers. You got to get your ad in somewhere.
You got to get your Tylenol too.
And I would take that. I mean, at this point, we don't have an ad. We used to have Jack Strawberry on the show. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
But now some allegations came up, and we had to get rid of them.
Yeah, I mean,
a lot of things going down nowadays.
You know, I think when he was writing that book, I just finished it last night.
You still got it?
Yeah, I read all 1,263 chapters.
Oh, wow, they added some pages then, because I thought it was 964.
He had some extra ones, but you could tell that by the end of them, he was just starting to lose his mind because he was trying to find so many things to do that he didn't know what he was doing anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, that story, it was called What to Do. And I think he finally figured out he didn't know what to do anymore. And that's the moral of the story. When you come to the end of your days, what do you do? And I think he got to that point.
But then
it gets really dark.
What he did was he started saying, this is how you do what to do.
Yeah.
And then when he did that, he just started writing what to do all over again. In the book.
The
same thing. But then when he got to the last what to do, he started over again, so he just kept doing it. And I think that's, after that. And then there was that incident in the Chili's parking lot.
You guys can look it up. We're not going to tell you the whole story. We got other and more important things that we don't want to talk about Jack Strawberry all day. Like growing up with Toezy, a lot of different things happen. But one of the coolest things was, we go out to his house to hang out in the country. He lived out in the country, and you explore the world. You can do whatever you want. My house, I was more in the city. What do you do? What to do? But the big difference was that my parents didn't give a shit what we did when we were at my house. Honestly, my house was to come over to watch rated R, triple X movies. Not that my parents were like, here's a porno, go watch this. But, it was the place to come if you wanted to get, your aggression out and I need to see something crazy today.
No, there was a big collection of VHS tapes. And
a lot of VHS.
You could watch Cisco Kid, or we could watch,
That's funny you remember Cisco Kid.
We never watched it. We never watched Cisco Kid.
Because it was probably just a porno.
We were Yeah, I know. We never watched that one.
Doesn't sound right. Yeah, we didn't watch that one. But we watch, even video games. There's the M mature rating on video games. And a lot of, my friends, you couldn't go over their house and play these games. But, if you wanted to, play Halo or this game called Conker's Bad Fur Day back in the day, which me and Toezy dressed up as. Maybe I got to find that picture of us.
Oh, yeah, we won the costume contest.
We won the costume contest from Conker's Bad Fur Day. And that game was there was sex, there was drugs, there was the
violence. Giant poop that was a monster who's a boss, and he was throwing shit at you to try and kill you.
This is
the whole song.
This is a real game, by the way. This is not something we're making up. And it sang beautiful opera though.
Yeah, it was
a piece of shit that sang beautiful opera. You guys got to check this out. Hopefully I can put a clip in so they can check this out.
You got to put a little Great Mighty Poo in there.
Do you remember any of the lyrics?
I remember all the lyrics, I think.
All right, try to sing it.
You want me to sing it?
Well, you have to get super into it.
I am the Great Mighty Poo, and I'm gonna throw my shit at you. A huge supply of tears comes from my chocolate starfish. How about some scat, you little twat?
Bum, bum.
I don't know if I remember. It's just really
I think it's getting.
You don't seem to know which cook you're in. Sweet corn is the only thing that makes it through my rear. How do you think I keep this lovely grin? You're what?
And then the next one was, you're like a niggly, tickly, shitty little tag net.
When I wipe you out with all this, I'm gonna take you out and tip you up your butt.
My butt? Your butt? Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. That was such a great song.
Oh, yeah.
So we got way into this game, and me and Toezy decided, well, let's try to be the characters from the game for Halloween. And I was a army squirrel, and you were the evil. There's evil teddy bears in this game.
I don't know.
Very weird game.
Yeah, I think
very weird, but extremely fun.
And you had an army coat, right? You had a real army coat.
Yeah, I used my grandpa's army coat. I mean, he's probably rolling over his grave because I used it for a squirrel costume, but hopefully not.
Some sort of. We weren't dressed up as furries in the 5th grade. At least I hope not.
You know what's funny about my costume was I literally just dressed as an army soldier. And I added
a tail.
Yeah. That's all I did. I didn't even have makeup on. But you had this furry coat.
Yeah.
With the a scary teddy mask with the eyes crossed out.
But it was funny because when you would go we went trick or treating around not this neighborhood, but your parents' neighborhood back in Woodland, and you would go up to the door and you would ring, and they're like, "Oh, you're a weird monster to me," and they're like, "Oh, and you're a military man." And
they
didn't know, and then you would turn around and they would see a squirrel, and it was that scene in Jumanji where the monkey has the really long tail.
Oh yeah.
When it pops out.
And we were pushing the limits.
We weren't going to Spirit Halloween store.
You know what's funny?
Strip mall.
No, that's true. We were all about making our own costumes. And in another year, we went as Cal cheerleaders. Remember that one?
We wrote Cal, us and our other friend Thomas. We wrote each a letter. So we were the Cal cheerleaders.
And keep in mind, this happened all throughout Holy Rosary. This is a Catholic school. We're like dressing up like this. So it's my fault the way we turned out and what we got into. But no, I think we all wanted to get into the rated R side of life.
Yeah, I mean, but that was the thing. It was like they were saying it was so bad to like do that stuff, and it was so restricted from it. But it's like, you turned out all right. I mean...
Sure.
I mean, we were always like, I'd go over to your house and everything, but we were never like super good friends. I remember like when I first started becoming a really good friend with you, it was right at the beginning of 5th grade. And like, I remember this one time and we were making these like maps of the United States, but it was like
what it was.
Topographic. And so like we had like Play-Doh or something to make the mountains.
Yes.
And I was doing the West Coast, Will Zimmerman was doing East Coast, and you were like center of the country, and you had the Rocky Mountains.
Okay.
And you just kept taking the dough that was for the Rocky Mountains, you would stretch it out, and you just kept going like swinging it around like your wiener.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, and like everybody was just cracking up, and then like, yeah, it was just a good time.
It's all about making wiener jokes. If you want to make friends, the quickest way to make friends, just pull out a wiener joke, or just bring some dough, I guess, just swing it around.
Yeah, anything that looks remotely like a wiener and just start.
Yeah. To this day, pictures of dicks are pretty freaking funny.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's a million ways you can make a picture of a dick funny.
Oh, yeah. You always got to draw dicks.
But then there was journal time. So the biggest thing for me was that journal time. And we speaking of rated R, like I would say, I used to watch Austin Powers, and it was like one of my favorite like inspirational movies growing up. And there's like characters like a lot of vagina and
Ivana Hump-a-Lot.
And I'd literally write these, so you got like 45 minutes to write a story or a journal, or you can do whatever you want. This is like 45 minutes to do or write whatever you want. But at the end of that, you could, I guess, turn them into skits if you wanted to, and with people in the class. And so I would create these characters, and they would be like a lot of vagina, and it would be like this 007 story. And I don't know where the journal went, man. That was some gold mine stuff in there. But yeah, the teacher would just crack up because
they were funny. That was the thing. It was like, but I remember.
Well, I don't know if she was laughing at the story or she just didn't. She realized that I didn't really know what I was saying, and it was like very inappropriate.
But I remember like one time, like I think this was one of the first ones. Everyone's like, Kevin, read it, because like they had seen like little parts of it and knew it was funny. And you're like, okay, well, Toezy, if you read it, like I'll go up there and like we can do it. And I was reading, and I'm like, okay. And so I was reading it, and like there are a couple little things that happen that's like funny Austin Powers stuff, and then I get to the name, I'm like, a lot of.
That's what it was.
And I was like, totally remember a lot of fudge. And I was just like, I couldn't stop laughing.
And so that's what I remember is the teacher was busting up because I think she knew already what you were trying to say.
Yeah. No, but
I'm surprised we didn't get suspended for that.
I don't know. I think
because it's like out of that school.
I think they were just at least funny, and it was, I don't know.
Well, that was the one teacher that I think was like, I mean, she wasn't there the whole time that we were there through Holy Rosary, so maybe like she was a questionable teacher.
I don't really care anymore.
Well, she was cool though. She let us do that.
She was good.
So I remember the pin business. And I think that's where it started, and then it evolved into something else that became Jim Bob, and we'll kind of go into that. So did Jim Bob? So I think we got to start from the beginning to explain the story to everybody.
So what we were doing when we would go to Jim Bob, because our older brothers were playing on the flag football team, so it was a K through 8 school, and my brother's 2 years older than me, so when he would have been in 7th grade when your brother was in 8th grade. When we were in 5th grade.
Yes, you're right.
And so you would either go with my parents or I would go with your parents when we were going to Sacramento to watch the games, and we had these walkie-talkies.
That's what it was.
And we were driving in the car one time, and we were just like, because at that time a lot of people had walkie-talkies, and there weren't a lot of cell phones around. So we would just find people to talk to on the walkie-talkies and just like pretend like we were some weird thing.
Because I mean, you know, growing up in a smaller town, wasn't super small, but it was smaller. You found, this is the fun things we found to do, but it had walkie-talkies, and you could, you know, if you never had walkie-talkies, if you find the right channel, someone could be on that same channel, and you can talk to somebody. And it's usually truck drivers, because truck drivers are probably the only people, especially in like towns or on freeways, they're the only people that are on walkie-talkies usually. So we were driving to it was the flag football game, right? And we got online with that sounds really weird, but we were on the walkie-talkie with a truck driver, right?
Yeah, I can't even remember. He's like, is this Jim? And we were like, is this Bob? And we were both like, this is Jim Bob.
Yeah, this is Jim Bob over here, and we'd like pretend like we were truck drivers.
Jim Bob here, going on the 405, going bobtail over here.
Hitting the I-5, going down.
And the trains. I got a big load here, taking it down to the Flying J. Gonna go get some McDonald's for dinner.
And he like talked to us for a while.
Yeah, it's like
I don't remember the exact conversation, but it was pretty close to that. Because I mean, in walkie-talkies they only go so far, so he was definitely within, I don't know, a 5-mile radius.
Yeah, it's even like closer, like a mile. Yeah.
The pin business, was that a part of the Jim Bob thing? Or was that
it
just
was
separate?
Like
Because I also want to talk about that.
It was a subsidiary of Jim Bob. Like Jim Bob became this whole thing. It became like our religion, and we started like making these like these Jim Bob tokens.
That's what it was. So we created just from this guy that we met over the radio.
It sounds really weird.
Because Jesus obviously wasn't enough for us growing up. We had to create Jim Bob, and so it started with I think there was like coins, but we'd like wrap it in tinfoil, or he just made these little coins that were like currency. But then we started actually selling. A big thing in 5th grade or 4th grade was making pins that could shoot when you click the top,
like a little
clicky
clicker
top
pins.
pin.
Because that was the first year, and before 5th grade, you couldn't use pens. You had to use pencils.
Oh, that's
right.
right.
And so when 5th grade came around, it's like, wow, we can use pens now.
Welcome to the pin zone. So, okay, there's a business. So you'd shoot these pins, and people wanted them. We'd create these pins that you'd fuck with the spring, and you cook the top, and it'd shoot the front of it off. And people wanted that. And I'm pretty sure we might have sold like 3 of them, maybe.
Yeah, probably. Like, I don't know how
made like $1 or $2.
I think we sold 1 at our peak.
You could definitely kill like a wild boar with these pins.
Yeah, you could probably kill that cockroach there, and just do.
Well, and probably finish off our audience member that's pretty much on the brink of survival.
I think the rats might get to him first.
That's okay. Jim Bob evolved into a serious religion, and we eventually went to your house,